Welcome back to 360 Sports. What is up, sports fans? Welcome to the Frenzy. I'm joined by Haley, Luke, and Jacob. I'm Massimo, and let's get into it. We're going to start off with the WNBA playoffs. They're finally in full swing. The Sun and the Lynx just moved on. Let's talk about it. So we're going to start off with the Lynx versus the Mercury. What do you guys think about the series?
I think it was bone cut dry. They smacked them the whole way through. The Lynx looked good. They could shoot the hell out of the ball. It was a good shot from them. What about you guys?
I would say I love Napheesa Collier. I'm a big fan of her. I've been a big fan since she was on UConn. To put a historic night like that is insane. I mean, 38 points in their first game, 42 points last night. I'm pretty sure this ties the record that Breanna Stewart previously had, who was another UConn alum. So I think that's really cool, just to have two players under Gino Auriemma to come out and do like such historic things like that.
You know, I think if you tie any record set by such a legend of women's basketball, such as Breanna Stewart, I think that's just an amazing achievement, and I'm happy for Napheesa Collier, and it'll be fun to watch her going forward.
Now, I'm glad you guys covered the Lynx, but I think we need to look at the other side of the court, especially the WNBA legend, Diana Taurasi. It possibly was her last game out on the court. She did foul out in the final couple of minutes. Definitely not the way she wanted to go out. But let's look back at her career. This season, she still averaged 15 points per game. She's an 11-time All-Star, 14-time All-WNBA, 3-time champion, 2 times Finals MVP, and a regular season MVP. She's been hooping since before I was born, and she's been doing it at an insane level the entire time. It will be very sad to not see her on the court next year. The White Mamba, enjoy your retirement, and thank you for all you've done for the game of basketball.
Yeah, start to finish. What a remarkable career. She was the first overall pick in 2004. That was a month after I was born, number 1 overall pick, and she has been absolutely on point from 2004 onward. It's just been a legend. And even if you don't watch, I haven't been too familiar with the WNBA, and even if you don't know the WNBA, you know who Diana Taurasi is, and it's going to be a huge loss for women's basketball.
I completely agree. Like most would say that she's definitely in the group that would be considered the greatest player of all time in terms of WNBA. I mean, going 10 points, going out in your last game possibly. I mean, it's sad to see, but there's no doubt that she had a great 20-year career.
To come in for 20 years and still average 29 minutes and 15 points at the end of her career shows what of a fighter she was.
I agree. And again, it'll be tough seeing the Mercury move on without her. I think they will be back next season and fighting like they always do, but it'll be tough. Now let's talk about the other series that ended yesterday. The Connecticut Sun defeated the Indiana Fever. What do you guys think about Connecticut?
That is a good team. They looked good yesterday. They looked strong, physical, rebounded the ball well. Looked like they could really get after it.
I mean, on the other side, the Fever, like Caitlin Clark, obviously changed the whole entire game of WNBA. I mean, in college, historic career, obviously. And last night she put up 25 points. Leah Boston's another person on the Fever with 19 rebounds. But the Sun, who are led by Alyssa Thomas and Marina Mabrey, I mean, that's just insane. Like, starting in place of Tyesha Harris, who hurt her ankle in Sunday's game, like to put up like 17 points and playing 39 minutes out of the 40 is like insane numbers.
Yeah, I think the Indiana Fever have a bright future ahead of them. Alyssa Boston and Caitlin Clark, anytime you win back-to-back Rookies of the Year in any sport, it's nothing but good things. In baseball, the Dodgers did a couple years ago with Corey Seager and Cody Bellinger, and it ended up winning them a World Series. So I think it's going to be exciting to watch the Indiana Fever going forward.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned Marina Mabrey because, wow, did she go out and hoop. What a deadline transaction for the Sun. They went out there, made a deal with the Chicago Sky, and it paid dividends. Without them, I think this goes to a 3-game series, and who knows what happens in 3. Also, I just want to give some flowers to the Fever. They were down 11 points going into the fourth quarter. They cut it all the way back and took the lead 71-70, and they still couldn't get it done. But this is a young team. It's a good team, and they will be back.
I completely agree. I think Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are going to lead this team. In the next few years, we are going to see them in playoff contention every year.
I agree. All right. Now we go on to face the series of the Sun and the Lynx and the Aces and Liberty in the next series. But let's switch sports. Let's talk about the Oakland A's. The sad story of the Oakland A's. They are playing their last game right now against the Texas Rangers in the Coliseum. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I just think it's a shame that they're moving. This is the third time in 5 years that Oakland has lost a sports team. You had it with the Warriors, you had it with the Raiders, and now you had it with the Athletics. And it's always sad when a sports team moves, but you could really tell over the last few years that the Oakland A's community really cared about this team and really tried. This is the longest time. Now, this isn't the first. The A's aren't new to relocation. They've moved 2 times previously, but this is the longest time they've spent in any city. They just edged out the 54 years they spent in Philadelphia. They spent 57 in Oakland, and it's all down to John Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely disgusting that they are taking all 3 teams out of Oakland. That is the life of that city. It is everything to them. The Coliseum, as well as it might not be a great stadium, it is the best place in sports to go and play by far.
And as well, like, this story is sad, but I had to share. I saw a clip of there were fans like lining up before the game this morning. But like last night, there was a groundskeeper that was putting dirt in the water bottles for other kids. And I thought that was really heartwarming to take like a sad story, but make it a little bit happy for the kids that may have like been going to the game since they were little.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned the little things about this series. This is a sad day for Oakland. It's a sad day for the fans. It's a sad day for baseball. Oakland has had a team for our whole lives, our parents' whole lives, and maybe their parents' whole lives. And it's been good, hard-fought baseball. We've seen people like Dennis Eckersley, Raleigh Fingers, Josh Donaldson. They have made their career in the Coliseum. And to not be able to see baseball in the Coliseum anymore, it's just sad. It's so much bigger than baseball, you can't even imagine. The people who went there for their first ever baseball games with their dads, with their moms, to see baseball for the first time. And now they're coming back to see it in Oakland for possibly the last time. And you got to say, it might be poor management. It might be poor politicking, but these are billionaire owners. They can keep a team in a city if they want to. And now you're taking away the escape of all the people in Oakland. It's just ridiculous.
What are they doing it for a couple extra $1 million now? What is that going to do to a billionaire, right? They need to keep the life and blood of these teams where they belong. Mm-hmm. The Raiders should stay in Oakland. The Warriors should move back to Oakland, and we should bring the Coliseum back by far.
And, you know, I'm glad you mentioned for a couple million, because when John Fisher bought the team in 2005, they handed out their largest contract in history. 6 years, $66 million to Eric Chavez. That is still the largest contract in A's history. What are we doing? Moneyball can only work for so long. You got to be able to spend money to make money. And John Fisher has not done that.
Absolutely.
I read that letter that John Fisher put out to the Oakland fan base, and it was the most. I can't tell whether he used ChatGPT or had an intern write it for 50 cents. That was the most insincere thing I've ever read. Oh yeah, we tried to keep them in Oakland. Sure you did. No, you didn't. Nobody believes that.
He had 5 not that serious proposals for a stadium. None of them worked because why would they? They all ask the people of Oakland, hey, can you pay for our stadium? I know I'm a billionaire, but hey, you guys like baseball, right? Like, that just can't be. And with the Athletics about to win their last game in Oakland, the Texas Rangers are down to their last out. We just have to say goodbye and good night to Oakland baseball. Now, let's stick on the topic of baseball. The playoffs are starting next week. Who do you guys think are contenders or pretenders? Jacob, let's start with you.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have a few picks for particularly in the American League for who I think is going to win and lose in the playoffs. And I have to start it off with the Houston Astros. They are my contender. They're like the Borg from Star Trek. Resistance is futile. They don't ever, if they have a hole, they fill it immediately. They've replaced Carlos Correa, Garrett Cole, George Springer, and they've still made 7 straight American League Championship Series. I know they have to play in the wild card round, but I don't think that's going to stop. I don't think that's going to slow them down much. The Houston Astros, until further notice, they are the team to beat in the American League. And as for my pretender, I have to do it. I have to do it. It hurts me as a Yankees fan, but I have to do it. This is a top-heavy lineup. It's Aaron Judge, it's Juan Soto, it's Garrett Cole, and then I don't know. I don't know who it is after that. No championship since 2009. That's the third longest streak in team history, and it's frustrating to watch this team win 95 games every year, maybe beat Cleveland or Minnesota, and then be on their merry way. And Aaron Judge, he's a guy that needs to get it done in the postseason. So hopefully this year with Juan Soto, he's got some playoff World Series experience. Hopefully he can change that. But until he does, or until somebody does, I'm not going to believe the New York Yankees can get any farther than the American League Division Series.
That's a crazy take, honestly. What can the Yankees do? They can hit. Haley, who are your contenders or pretenders?
All right. So for my contender, I had the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, they're the favorite to win the World Series right now. They have obviously Shohei Ohtani. If you don't even know baseball, if you don't follow baseball, you know who Shohei Ohtani is. He has over 50 home runs already, over 300 batting average. I mean, this guy is a real baseball player. And then you have Freddie Freeman, and as a Boston Red Sox fan, Mookie Betts is also on this team. And I think that the Dodgers have the ability to, even though their pitching isn't that great currently, I think their offense will wrap this team up, and you're going to see them after the bye week move on and get further into the World Series contention. And as on the other side, for my contender, I have the Detroit Tigers. And there's no hate to this team at all. I respect them as a team. I just don't see them going very far because, quite frankly, I don't think they're as good as any other AL team right now. As much as it sucks to say as a Red Sox fan, the Orioles and the Yankees are better overall. They're a good team. I just don't think they're as good as the others.
All right. Luke,
All
what
right.
do you think?
I think we bring me over to the board. My contender this year, we have the Yankees in as my contender. Because what Jacob didn't say is that this is a team with championship DNA. They've been to it before. They have 27 World Series titles. And yeah, that offense, it's real good. If they get going and they're hot like they are now, they'll take us all the way to the finish line, I think. Then for my pretender, I have the Mets, other side of New York. This is a team, the Mets. They don't have championship DNA. Their pitching's not good enough. Lindor is hurt, and they will not be able to make it that far in the playoffs. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't bet on little brother either. But for my contender, I really think that the Royals have it. What can they do? They can hit. I don't care that they don't hit the long ball. They get on base. That's the only thing that matters. We're talking about Moneyball earlier. If you can get on base, you can win games. Small ball is going to help them in the playoffs. When it's colder, the ball doesn't fly. They'll take the slap knocks. They'll take the infield hits. But they'll be backed up by their pitching. They have 3 of the best starters in baseball. They have Cole Reagans, they have Seth Lugo, and they have Brady Singer. They get strikeouts, they don't let people on base, and they get it done. The big question mark for them is the bullpen. With those starting pitchers, they don't need to worry about it. Now, for my pretenders, I got the Dodgers. I don't see the hype. Their starters are injured. Gavin Stone is injured. He has the most innings pitched for them this entire season. They're going in with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is a very good pitcher. Jack Flaherty, who has not been the same way that he's been this season. And looking at their stats since the All-Star break, their bullpen has been severely lacking. There are two pitchers in that bullpen that I think I can trust in high leverage situations. It's Blake Trinan, who has been amazing, and Michael Kopech. Everyone else has an ERA north of 3.5, and you really got to question, can they get it done? I know they have the former MVPs. I don't care about former. I care about now. If you can't pitch, you can't win.
Totally fair points. I mean, I completely get that, but
You're talking about the Yankees that have championship DNA. You seem to forget that 20 of those 27 championships were won before they instituted the MLB draft. I mean, it's a little bit top heavy when you look at the 20th century.
Championship DNA at the end of the day is championship DNA. If champions have walked through those halls, that's what happens.
Not in 15 years.
See, I understand that point, but I don't think it's the championship DNA that gives the Yankees a shot. I think that their mass of starting pitching, they've got Garrett Cole, they've got Carlos Rodon, who when he's hot, he's hot. They've got Nestor Cortez, though he just got an MRI on his elbow and will not be available until the ALCS.
Need him till then anyway. It's fine.
But they can pitch. And I can't say that for the Dodgers. And you got three names in that lineup that terrify opposing pitchers. It's their 2, 3, and 4 hitter. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Austin Wells. When they're going, the Yankees are a dangerous team.
Absolutely.
Now we understand our contenders and pretenders. If you guys agree with us, if you don't, well, we'll see. Now it's time to talk about money. We're going to have 5 grossly paid athletes come up on the board, and we're going to have to guess how much money do they make yearly.
All right.
okay.
So are we starting off?
We got to match them up, right?
All right.
There we go.
Honestly, I think, who do we think is the lowest paid? Because that's the easiest way to start this off.
It's
Connor
either
McDavid?
Yeah,
I would
I was
say
going to
David,
say
yeah.
it's got to be hot.
it's got to be either McDavid or
Banchero's on
Paolo
a
Banchero
rookie
is
contract.
still on his rookie
He's on his rookie
contract.
contract.
Okay.
But NBA money's different. Let's not lie. NBA money
mean, yeah,
is
but-
different.
I would
NBA money,
say-
that would put him around 10 mil.
million.
Here's what I'm looking. Yeah, because I'm looking at the 10 million because it's a nice round number. It seems like it seems what a rookie contract figure, a nice round number would be in the NBA. So
Yeah.
I would guess Banchero for $10 million.
I could go there.
I would
Yeah, yeah.
agree with that.
Now, who do we think is the highest paid? Because
Djokovic.
I think Djokovic
Yeah,
is a steady
tennis-
Yes.
pole.
Yeah, he's.
I mean,
100%.
we think
this is yearly salary. I think for tennis that does include his endorsements, which are
absolutely.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we got
I
him
think
at 38.
he's either
38.
32 or 38.
I think it's 38.
38, yeah.
I want to say AJ
AJ
Brown
Brown
is
is
the
26.
second.
He's 20. High,
Is he
he
26
just got
or
a
is he
brand. I mean,
32?
he's
Does
got a
Christian
brand new
Yelich get paid that much money?
I don't think
MLB
Christian
money's
Yelich is getting
different.
32.
as well.
I mean,
NFL.
he is
He's
a
just got a
former
brand new
MVP.
contract. Brand new contract
I'm
for
kicking
AJ Brown.
myself as a baseball fan because
He's
I
gonna be one
remember
of the-
when Christian Yelich signed, but I don't remember if it was 32 or 26.
And AJ Brown's a new contract. All these new receivers are getting paid north of 25 million.
Yeah.
So 26 when he was paid as the highest paid receiver makes the most sense.
So we've got Paolo at 10 or 12. Which
10.
are we saying? 10.
David
We've
at
got
12.
McDavid
David
at
at
12,
12.
McDavid
definitely.
at 12. Novak Djokovic at
At
38.
38.
And then AJ Brown at 26. Yelich at 32.
Sounds about right.
I would agree. Ooh.
Yelich only makes 26 million.
AJ Brown's making
Wow.
32?
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, we got
Hey,
Yoke.
we-
I mean,
We
go
know
on.
tennis apparently.
We do know
we-
tennis. Catch me at the Wimbledon.
two swaps, and this is a perfect board. So
So basically, if we got it right, we would have
Yeah.
gotten
Yeah.
it right.
There you go. That's one way to look
we
at
were
it.
close to getting it right.
Not
That's
good
what I'm saying.
odds with all
Well,
5 players.
This is why we're not accountants.
Yep.
We're just
sure.
analysts. And they get paid gross money to play sports.
You think one of
So-
them could donate to keep the team in Oakland?
All right. Now, our last segment of the night. What games are we looking forward to this week in the NFL? I think I'll start off because it's the most recent game or most close game. Tonight, we are dealing with the New York Giants playing at home against the Dallas Cowboys. This one is going to be close. Dallas has not looked good this season. The Giants, or shall I say Malik Neighbors, has looked great. This is a team where if Graham Gano does not get injured against Washington, these are a 2-1 New York Giants. This is not the bad team that we believe that they are. And really the key to the game for the Giants is get the ball to Malik Neighbors, get him in the open field. This O-line can create a pocket. Micah, double team him.
And you're going against the worst run defense in the league as of right now, too. Singletary could have a day.
Exactly. And really, I think if Dak Prescott does not perform, then the Giants' scary defensive line will hit home. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau will be there.
Okay.
And really, if he can't get the ball to CeeDee Lamb or Jake Ferguson, then Dallas needs to rethink their playoff status.
I completely agree with that. I mean, the Giants, a bold statement to say that they'd be 2-1. I really don't believe that. I don't think that they have, with only like one targeted receiver all the time, I don't think that they'd have the offense. Even though their defensive line is very strong, I do not believe that without Saquon, without a run game anymore, I don't think that they'd be 2-1.
Well, bringing in the account against the Commanders, they gave up 7 field goals. If they merely could have made the extra points and kicked the game-winning field goal, they win. It's just they were forced to go for it on 4th and 4 from the 30. In this day and age, that's a chip shot field goal, which, speaking of field goals, the MVP for the Cowboys tonight, Brandon Aubrey. He will be dotting them up from all over the field. But my score prediction for tonight is 24-20, the New York Football Giants.
Wow.
That's bold. That's a real bold take.
I think I think Aubrey might be the one to break Justin Tucker's field goal record. He's been coming close. He's teasing us. I think he's teasing us. It feels like it's like every week you watch the Cowboys think is this the week that Brandon Aubrey does it? I don't know if it's this week, but I think this season that Brandon Aubrey breaks the field goal record.
Couldn't agree more.
Whose games do you guys have?
All right, coming up next, I have the Las Vegas Raiders against the Cleveland Browns. Also, just to say, the A's have won their final game in Oakland. We can rejoice.
Yay.
All right?
Yay.
So that's good to know. But coming out, the Raiders, it's been a rough 2 weeks coming from you beat the Baltimore Ravens, then you go to lose to the Panthers. Now, saying that, Andy Dalton did look like MVP Andy Dalton. I don't know what that is. He was beautiful out there. But the Raiders, if their defense can get out there and create pressure like they've done all season, having Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby on that D-line, they should be able to get Watson out of his comfort place. He's already missing 24.5% of his throws. They're inaccurate already. If we can get him in his face and get him to miss more balls, it'll be a great day. And then the Raiders offense, on the other hand, have only ran the ball 55 to 111 pass attempts. There's no run attack. We've averaging 2.8 yards per carry. So if they can get a run game going and really start moving people, it'll be a great day.
You know, after seeing the Giants of all teams dismantle the Cleveland Browns, I think that they might be in consideration for the worst team in football.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Raiders win. Simple as that.
I couldn't agree more. But saying that, they lost to the Panthers last week. And it's not unlike the Raiders to lose to some bad teams and go out and beat the Chiefs. I'll tell you that now.
Andy Dalton is better than Deshaun Watson. And we'll leave it there. Haley, who do you have?
I have the Saints and the Falcons, who are squaring off on Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Falcons, I read, are the favorite in this matchup, but I'd like to disagree with that. I think that the Saints are playing really well. I mean, they are coming off a loss against the Eagles last week, but they're currently 2-1. Their first 2 games, they have 25 or more point wins against the Panthers and the Cowboys, which we were talking about just before. A few things that they do need to clean up if they do want to win this matchup against the Falcons. Clean up their run defense. With Bijan Robinson, you have to watch. That guy can explode like many different times as he different carries, more than 10 plus yards. They have to fix that. They have to fix their wide receiver depth. Olave, Shaheed are the only 2 receivers that we're seeing right now. they got to get more targets. And most importantly, they have to fix their interior offensive line to run this ball. With Eric McCoy is one of their offensive linemen that's out right now. They need to fix this. And I think if Derek Carr can get into this passing game, he's been playing good. I mean, when he was on the Raiders, disappointment. I mean, Las
Third in
Vegas.
MVP voting. 2016 now. Let's not get ahead of it.
All right. Okay.
Former Pro Bowler Derek
Right.
Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's not
We
disrespect
years
forgot.
ago.
Let's not
We
respect
forgot.
the GOAT. All
Yeah,
right. Let's put
right.
it that way.
I think if he could just have an explosive passing game like he did in the first 2 weeks, obviously Alvin Kamara, crazy good running back. I mean, this guy could run the ball too. I think that they can improve to 3-1, and I think that they could get rid of Kirk Cousins and Bijan Robinson.
You know, I agree with you. I really think for the Saints, it comes down to one man. That man out of the University of Tennessee, try and sing good old Rocky Top all the way out of Atlanta.
Completely agree.
Jacob, who's your game?
Well, my game of the week is the AFC West matchup. It's going to be a tough one for Penn State fans. You have Penn State public enemy number 1, Jim Harbaugh, and the Los Angeles Chargers taking on NFL public enemy number 1, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I personally think the Chiefs are going to expose the Chargers in this one. The Chargers they got 2 weak wins against a Raiders team and a Panthers team that I don't think are very good, and they lost to a Steelers team that can't find the end zone. So I think the Chiefs are going to have a lot of fun this week. But if they are going to have a lot of fun, and that would be an offensive explosion, they need their stars to produce. And so far this season, they haven't. You have Travis Kelce right there. He only has 69 receiving yards and 8 receptions in 3 games. He's not getting the ball, and when he's getting the ball, he's not doing a lot with it. Patrick Mahomes, only 659 passing yards, a 5-4 touchdown ratio, and he hasn't even cracked 20 fantasy points once this season. So it's been the Chiefs are winning. They're winning close games. They've actually won 6 straight games by 1 score if you go back to last year's playoffs. And they're going to have to step it up if they want to make the entire NFL mad at them and win their 3rd straight Super Bowl.
I agree with you. I think that the Chiefs will take care of business, but I don't think that it's going to be any exposing or anything. The Chargers are expected to lose. They're without Derwin James, the heart and soul of that defense.
Is Herbert
After
even
the
on a full
NFL
leg yet?
did uphold. I think he will
Herbert-
play, but I do not
You
think
see
he'll be
him
100%.
last week. He did
Not
not
gonna
look
be
good out
100%,
last
no,
week.
no.
If he plays, then it's not great. Otherwise, I just think the Chiefs take care of business, get out of there with a win, and hopefully find a way to get Travis Kelce involved with a Derwin James-less defense.
I mean, the Chiefs are still and will be the best team in the NFL this year. They have the best QB who I think has ever walked on the NFL field, which is saying a lot, I know. But if you watch him play, he is the most talented player out there. They always find the ways to
Have
win
you heard
close
of
games.
Derek Carr?
Well, we're comparing gods to men here. Let's relax, all right?
I don't know. I think that saying that Patrick Mahomes is obviously in the grouping of maybe possibly the best quarterbacks of all time, but I do not think this Chiefs offense is playing to where they could be. They're playing the Chargers, who obviously decent team, but not one of the best teams. They're going to take care of business. They're going to beat the Chargers, but I think they need to start stepping up if they want to be in playoff contention again this year to go back to the Super Bowl.
I think they make the playoffs. I think the question mark's on the defense, but that's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us, sports fans. We'll be back next week. Have a good evening.